Hey guys, today we're going to be doing some TikTok art hacks that went viral, so let's go. So the first hack is on how to make your art glow. So basically what they're saying is, if you, instead of blending your glowy thing into its surrounding directly, you can add a saturated color and that makes it look more glowy. So let's try it out. So we're first starting with a circle and then making our backgrounds dark. And after that, I will be following the tutorial like kind of the same and adding blue as well, just so we can see if it actually works well when I do it and it's not some trick that they did like editing and stuff. And as you can see, it does work and it looks really good, honestly. And I'm just adding some extra glow with airbrush. I highly recommend you to do this as well because it really sells it even more. So I'm going to be doing what I would usually do, which is just use an airbrush and make it look like it's glowing. But as you can see clearly that it does not work as well as the tutorial one worked. So I also used another color to show you how it would work if you used a different color as well. But as you can see, the best one is the one from the tutorial. So that is the one that I would recommend you guys to use because it looks like it's actually glowing and not a muddy mess. Okay, so, and I'm also doing an example which you would do in real life, because if you're doing a digital art, you're not going to be just painting a ball. So I'm trying to make a fire and make it glow, which is kind of weird because I did it really janky way, so it doesn't really sell it that much. But I'm pretty sure that if you do it properly and spend a lot of time in it, then it will definitely work for you. So it was easy and it works really good, so I would give it 10 out of 10. And now the next art hack that we're going to be doing is how to make your art look like this angel ethereal type of glow, how to give it that. So this has a lot of different steps. So first you need to get a darker color and then you add it on top of your art and keep it on multiply and then reduce opacity. Then after that you need to add another layer and keep the blending mode on add, and then you add a lighter color on it and then reduce opacity, and then you airbrush some more lighter color so it looks like it's glowing. I'm gonna tell you that as we go on. Okay, so first off, I am adding the darker color on multiply and reducing its opacity, and then I'm going with the lighter orangish yellow color and I'm just adding it wherever I think it would look good. And after that I am reducing its opacity, and I also changed its color because it was too orangey and not really that bright. So I did that. And after that, you need to add another layer and set it on add blending mode again, and then use a soft brush or an airbrush tool to add this kind of glowy effect on top of your add layer, right? So it looks even more glowy. And I did reduce its opacity a lot, which kind of reduced the glowiness, which I did not really want, but that's fine. And after all of that, you need to add another layer with a white background, and then using the same soft brush, you can add the white color as your background, and again create another layer on top of your add layer where you did the glowy highlights, and add another layer of another white layer, and then keep the setting on add blending mode, and then you're done. And that makes it look like the light is shining through and it makes it give it that glowy look even more. And after that, you need to add an orangish color on top of your multiply layer, which I did not do. I added the color directly on the multiply layer, which makes it look kind of weird, but I'm fine with the results, so you can do that. But as you guys can see, this is a really long process and it is not easy at all. It definitely works, but it wasn't what I was hoping. I feel like this works for certain art styles, so I'm gonna give it 5.
I draw and renderize. First, draw two circles nose width apart from each other. Then draw the axis that will determine where the pupils would be. Draw two dots at the ends of the horizontal axis of the circle. Then connect them, keeping in mind the curve of the eyeball. And don't forget to draw your eyelid crease at the edge of the circle. When it comes to rendering eyes, I like to mix the skin tone color with a light bluish green shade to achieve eye whites that are cohesive with the skin tone. Then I add a lighter, slightly bluer shade of the eye whites to the center with a soft brush for dimension. And paint to the eye corners, the idea of a waterline, and any extra shadows to the eye whites. Finally, I color all of the iris with its darkest shade and carve out the pupils with the lighter shades of the iris. Then I add my highlights and any final touches to finish the eyes.
So the next art tip or art hack that we're going to be doing is how to render eyes. And as you can see, they render eyes so well, and I just want to render eyes like this. So this is also a long process, so you need to catch up, okay? First off, we need to make a circle and then make axes on it so that you can see where the pupil lies, and then where the lines intersect you need to make a circle. I actually have an eye under this drawing, which I will be showing you later. Let's just compare how this hack works versus how I would draw it normally, right? So as you can see, I've drawn on the top of the circle. You need to make a crease where the eyelids fold and create the eyelids by keeping in mind the circle, and create the bottom lid as well. And the bottom of the circle can be where the wrinkles lie, but if you keep that there, it's gonna make the character look kind of old, so it's up to you. And now we're mixing the skin color, which you can just color pick, and a greenish blue color, and then using the smudge tool you can mix them and color pick the mixed color and then use it as your eye color. Basically, it's easy and not that much work. And after that, I'm using a soft airbrush and using a lighter bluish color and going in the middle so that it looks like it gives it a color variation, and also it kind of shades it itself, so it's darker on the corners and lighter in the middle. So after that, I'm going to be adding pinks on the corner of the eyes so that it looks realistic and all that. And after that, I'm going to be creating a waterline using a lighter color of what you used as your eye color, basically your eye color, but a bit lighter color than your eye color. And after that, I'm adding some darker color where the eyelids overlap and create a shadow, and then using the darkest color I create a pupil and a lighter brown shade to create a iris. I think that's what it's called. And after that, there's not much to be done. You just add highlights and clean it up, and after you do that, it's gonna look something like this. So let's see it compared to what I originally drew. And as you can see, the one that I drew originally is wonky and it's like going in two different areas, but it is not easy at all. It has lots of steps, yeah, but it makes your eye look good, so you cannot be complaining. So I give it an 8 out of 10. So the next hack that we're doing is, this is a funny one. It's just using the plankton meme and overlaying it on top of your eyes, so it makes it look like it makes it kind of look rendered. So I'm using a drawing that I've already done and just using the warp tool on your Procreate, using the warp tool and making it the shape of your eye, and then just go and duplicating it onto the other eye, so you don't have to do a lot of work. This is really easy. And after that's done, you can just go on to your layer and merge them together, and then keep the setting on overlay and then reduce the opacity if you want. I honestly liked it as it was with the plankton visible, because I don't know, I liked how it looked, but I just did what the hack told me to. I really like it. I also did this trick on the eye that we just did before this one, and I also like how it looked there because it kind of gives it a more soulful look. This was definitely very easy and it works way more effectively than I thought, so I'm giving it 9 out of 10. So the next one is about perspective. Honestly guys, I suck with drawing backgrounds and drawing in perspective, so this was really, I needed this hack, okay? But saying that, there's a lot of learning curves that will come at you when you're doing this hack, because it's not easy as the other ones. So when you go into your Procreate canvas setting, there's a drawing guide setting which you can turn on, and then you can edit the drawing guide, and you can either create 1-point perspective, 2-point perspective, or 3-point perspective. And it is very complicated. And if you turn on assisted drawings, your lines can only go in where they're supposed to. Basically, you cannot create free-form line art, which is really helpful if you're making structures like buildings and geometric things. This had me gagged, okay? I did not know what to do because I thought my perspective was a 3-point perspective because it is like flat, right? But it is also above, it's slightly above, and you can see the countertops, and I don't know, it's just really confusing, and it is really something that you should be looking at, okay? It's very helpful, and it made my drawings look so much better, because if I did this without the perspective, then it would look really shitty, and this helped me a lot, so I would highly recommend. And let's get on with our rating. So was it easy? Definitely not. I still don't understand how all of it works, but does it work? It definitely works very good, so I'm gonna give it 9 out of 10. Well, that is all the hacks I have for you guys today. I hope you guys liked this video, and if you did, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you later. Bye.